Well, hello everyone. It's your girl Taya, the curator, and I am back. It's no longer called Taya's Tuesday Thoughts. It's now called Taya's Thoughts. All right. So listen, guys. If this is your first time tuning in, shame on you. But my name is Taya, the curator, and this is Taya's Thoughts. And every episode of Taya's Thoughts is about the main topic is a song, right? And then the topic goes along with that song. In every episode of Titus Thoughts is sponsored by Author Tees. That is my graphic design line. I guarantee one of the quotes authored by me will speak to you. This is one of them. Ms. Accountable. Ms. because it's none of your business whether I'm married or single. And accountable because I am accountable. One of my favorite quotes is from Remember the Titans. Did your blockers fumble the football or did you fumble the football? Listen, if you always blame the blockers, you're going to keep fumbling the football. And the only thing people know is that you fumble the football. Nobody cares why you fumble the football. You just fumble the football. Listen, we're gonna get into accountability later, but that is the tee I'm wearing today. Ms. Accountable. All right, so I got a couple things going on today as we speak. 6:00 p.m. It is the premiere of episode 218 of the Mr. Know-It-All podcast called Down the Rabbit Hole, featuring the resident DJ for Podcast Link Philly and author DJ KDL. He is going down the rabbit hole with Mr. Know-It-All and Kelly Q. And it's curated by yours truly. And that premieres today at 6 p.m. It's already available on Patreon on the Mr. Know-It-All podcast Patreon. I can't tell you all the feeling that I have watching, things that I create. There's my new thing. I trust my vision. The other thing is my vision is, last Friday, I did Turn Your Pod Up, first Friday night live at G Ho's Bar and Lounge. And I had a quick 15 network and 484 sound check as the guest to put on the live show. This is the second one. Both have been amazing. It's been amazing content. People are grateful for the opportunity. And this is why I trust my vision because, people are grateful for the opportunity. Let me just make sure this mic is right. I'm using a new platform, so I just want to make sure. I don't know what's up with my mic. Yeah. All right, there's the mic. My mic sounds nice. Check one. All right. Anyway, so Turn Your Pod Up was amazing once again, okay? And then tonight I'm going to be on my guy who was the first person to do Turn Your Pod Up, Life Be Life, and going to be on there with the ladies from Main Character Energy, which is my podcast that I am doing with the ladies starting in January. Shout out to Sunny, Mr. Hart, and Dana K. And then Dana K and myself will be on the Yo Cuss podcast. That is our DC connection. We're going to do a podcast with those fellas tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on YouTube. And then last but not least, next Thursday, December 18th, 6 to 9, Main Character Energy presents the Ugly Sweater Wind Down. Just what it says. We're going to wind down in our ugly sweaters in Black Oak Wine Club. All right. So all those things are going on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? All those things are going on. All right. So listen. What I do is I start out with what's going on in this crazy world. There's a lot going on in this crazy world. So, last week I told y'all about the documentary that I wasn't watching the documentary with about Diddy called The Reckoning, executive produced by 50 Cent. I want people to know that it's executive produced by 50 Cent. He's not the one who actually put the documentary together. He is the executive producer, meaning, to hype it up a little bit, saying that he's behind it, I guess, is a good thing. I'm not a fan of any of this. I'm just not interested in it. I'm just not interested in any negativity. And I'm not really a documentary person. Like, I watch documentaries because I watch documentaries like Ben Crump, right? Because I wanted to understand, how he got involved in being the person that seems to be called a lot when there are police brutality cases or racial discrimination. It's like it was always him, right? And I wanted to know the story behind all of that, which I did find out that in most of these cases, people are calling him. And that was the whole reason he got into law, was to fight for civil rights, which he is doing. I just read something about him winning a $779 million judgment for a security guard that was killed in a robbery, because the companies that own, the place where he was killed were negligent, could have prevented what happened. So not even to go into all that, but I'm just, making a point that that's when I watch documentaries, when it's somebody that I want to get to know or, know more about. I don't need to know more about Diddy. I mean, I've been knowing about Diddy since Diddy came out. During that 8-week trial, the amount of clips and things that came out, I know more than I need to know about Diddy. So I'm not interested in it. And the other thing I want to say, like I said before, people need to take documentaries with a grain of salt. Documentaries are not Bibles. These are accounts from people who've had experience with a certain individual. Now, the footage that's being shown that, was actually gathered by him or a videographer, that's the footage. But footage can also, when doing a documentary, be used in a certain way to paint a narrative. And the narrative is that Diddy is a monster. And I'm not disagreeing, that he's a monster, but just because somebody is a monster doesn't mean that that person has done everything that person has been accused of. Because I believe I said before that it's come out from one of the controllers of Biggie's estate that Biggie, in fact, did not pay for his own funeral. So to me, if, key things like that are being disputed, it just speaks to what I said about documentaries not necessarily being law. So, but to each his own, you know what I'm saying? I've unfollowed, quite a few things lately because I'm just on a energy cleanse. You know what I'm saying? I'm on an energy cleanse. It's certain things I just don't have in my energy. Earlier this year, I stopped watching reality TV, like just cold turkey. Stop watching, reality TV. And, I'm just keeping in with that energy. Like, I'm cleansing my energy. It's just certain things I just don't even want to have in my energy. You know what I mean? I've unfollowed certain people on Instagram who are always being petty or always got some kind of negativity and really don't ever have anything positive to say. I'm just not on that. I'm just removing that. So the Diddy documentary is in line with that. It doesn't fit in my spirit. All right. So anyway, go Birds. It's still go Birds. You know what I mean? The birds is getting on my nerves. The birds done flew the coop the last 3 weeks. But it's still go Birds. Like one of my other author teas, I am not a fair weather Eagle fan. I am not a fair weather Eagle fan. Let me say it again. That means I will go out in the snow and watch the game if I have to. That means I'm going to ride with them. You know what I'm saying? Because as I told people before, if you live through the Chip Kelly era, if you lived through that last season that Doug Peterson was here and we had like 4 or 5 wins when Wentz was here, then baby, you just a spoiled Eagles fan now, because at the end of the day, what we have experienced in the last 7 years, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl wins. There are franchises who have never experienced a Super Bowl. Okay, there are franchises, hey Cowboys, who have not experienced a Super Bowl in the amount of years that my starting quarterback has been on this earth. Period. Or their starting quarterback has been on this earth. So I would rather be a fan of my team than any of those teams, because I have experienced Super Bowls. I have experienced NFC championships. You know what I mean? I have experienced going to the playoffs or being talked about for having 10 wins and going 10-1. I have experienced that in the last 7 years. And I've also had bad experience as an Eagles fan where I'm ready to throw the towel in every year. And then every year I'm back saying, go Birds. So, baby, even with as bad as it look, we are still 8-5. We are still third in the conference. We are still number one in our division. All we got to do is make it, baby. And then as anybody game, the champion pedigree can kick in at any time. That's what I want to say about my quarterback. He doesn't look good, right? And I'm not making excuses for him, but it appears to be mental. And the reason why I say it's mental is because when somebody starts making uncharacteristic mistakes like fumbles and picks and can't find your helmet on the sideline, that was crazy. That's when I said I felt like it was mental. The body language is off. Even in the press conference, it's like he's just tired about something. But one thing I want to say is that dumbass narrative about him and AJ has now officially been debunked. Okay, I watched them celebrate on the sideline last week. I watched them communicating on the sideline, after AJ got a couple of passes. And let's talk about AJ, right? AJ is like 180 yards away from another 1K season. So what do I always ask people? Who is throwing him the ball? Who throws him the ball in his 1K seasons? The quarterback that y'all claim can't throw. He's the only person throwing him the ball. And this is about to be his 5th 1K season. Him getting his number is never an issue. It was never going to be an issue. And he has 4 games to get that 180. So lay off that narrative. Now y'all want to come out with something else about, Hurts is an asshole in the locker room. Nobody really liked him. It's BS. Said nobody. Nobody was ever saying they didn't like Hurts in the locker room. It's just that y'all other narrative didn't work. So now y'all coming up with something else. Leave my team alone. We will be just fine. Even if we don't win this year, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? So that means that offensive coordinator will be out there. Kevin Matula will go. Which is crazy because I'm hearing that he has a lot of head coaching job offers on the line. Whew, make it make sense. But it's go Birds, and it's always go Birds. Until you Jalen Hurts haters, y'all can kick rocks with y'all I told you so's. It's nonsense. That man is a winner. He's been a winner. Anybody can have a bad season. Anybody can be thrown off mentally. One thing I'm going to say, right? In any form of team, I don't care what it is, it's a music group, whatever. Anytime it starts to be any form of betrayal or disloyalty, stuff start to fall apart. This happened before, and it was the same thing. And I'm not blaming AJ because you got every right to, voice your opinions, but there is always a casualty when that kind of energy starts to be spread. Go Birds. Keep it on football real quick. Sorry to the non-sports fans. There was something that happened in that Ravens versus Steelers game that been bothering me all week. That touchdown being called back. Listen, baby, I've been watching football for a long time. And the only thing I ever know is if you catch the ball in the end zone, it's a touchdown. Now you're telling me that you got to take 3 steps? So we just making up stuff as we go along? It's given rigged. Sorry. Baltimore Ravens got robbed. That was a touchdown. That's why they keep showing it. That's why everybody keeps talking about it. Because we've been watching football for a long time, and you've never had to take 3 steps for it to be a touchdown. Speaking of sabotage, rig, whatever, Shedeur, 364 passing yards in the game on Sunday. Team is down 2. Coach takes him out. So you take out the man that been balling all game. That's what you're doing. That's your decision. It's giving Pete Carroll in the Seahawks Super Bowl when he took out Beast Mode. What is happening? I want Shedeur off of Cleveland, or I want that coach going, because Shedeur is not going to thrive there. He's not. That coach clearly don't bang with him like that. Why would you take him out of the game? Did you not want him to be the hero? Did you want to take away his moment? Is all this to try to justify y'all drafting him in the 5th round? Is that what that is? Is that what this is? I think that's what this is. But shout out to Shedeur, because, baby, what I always say, all you got to do is win. All you got to do is win to prove people wrong about you. You should have never been a 5th pick, Shedeur, and you are showing the world that I don't care if you win or not. Just keep going out and balling out. This is the one time I say what I don't usually say. Focus on yourself, because it's you that was doubted. Shout out to Shador. Last week I talked about Trayvon Boykin and him coming out publicly talking about what happened when he went to Russ and Sierra house for Thanksgiving. So he has gave an apology, if you want to call it that. I hate when somebody apologizes and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you're either sorry or you're not. He's saying, oh, I could have not used his name. I shouldn't have talked about baby Future like that. But, I know a lot of people, leave it there. It was unnecessary. He's like, yeah, because, Russ and Sierra didn't wake up and ask for that. No, but you know what they did ask? They asked you to come to Thanksgiving. They asked you to come to Thanksgiving, and you violated 10 years later by spreading their business. Now, I don't know if this is true about Russ' mama, came out with a statement saying the family was away that year or whatever, but that's why you mind your business. You don't know why his family wasn't there, and it's none of your business. Focus on the fact that you're there. Oh, well, that's what I do with my family, no matter what. That's your family. Your family is not his family. That's the problem with people always projecting. So then when you start projecting, now you mind somebody's business. I don't got to run my family how you run your family. I don't got to raise my kid how you raise your kid. You know what I mean? I just raise my kid. I don't got to raise my kid how you raise your kid. I don't got to deal with my family how you deal with your family. You don't know people's family. So that's why you should mind your business. And you should never say that publicly. And then you couldn't give a better apology there, because if I'm Russ and Sierra, I'm like, you're too late. Save it. Ray J publicly blasted Beyonce and Jay-Z saying, when y'all come to the Boys Mind tour, speak to Brandy. This is why people say, ain't that Brandy's brother? Yo, let me tell y'all, taking it off of that, because I saw a picture with all the ladies and Beyonce was in it, including Brandy. So, yeah, what are you talking about? What are you even talking about? But let's take it off of them, right? Let me tell y'all something. Everybody watching this. Nobody, please ever publicly blast anyone for not speaking to me in public. Yo, what kind of, what? Hey, y'all, I just want to say, when y'all see Taya, at G-Ho's Lounge for turning your pot up, make sure you speak to her. What? Bro, we are grown. Ain't hard up for nobody to speak to nobody. But I really think he did that because he wanted to take the attention off of his own issues that he got going on out here. But you something else, dog. Like, what? First of all, like I said, all the ladies were in the picture together. Second of all, Beyonce was there supporting her best friend. She wasn't even there for Brandy. And if I'm Brandy, I'm like, yo, dog, don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. That is not defending me. I don't want you publicly saying Beyonce and Jay-Z didn't speak to me. It's just weird. It's weird. We're grown. We're 40-something years old. All right, so last week I talked about the Easy and Cass battle. What battle? Child, why did that join get canceled? Because Cass and Easy was about to fight, and all these million people Cassie had on stage were trying to fight. It was crazy. So they're going back and forth, and Easy, the block captain, when he battle raps, he like gets in the person's face, but he didn't touch him. He was just in his face. And Cassie's like, yo, you letting spit fly. Yo, stop touching me. He's like, yo, I'm not touching you. Don't touch me. And then, they wound up breaking it up. Now, this is my opinion, right? I know that Cassie has studied Easy, the block captain, tremendously, right? So he's well aware that is Easy, the block captain style of, getting in your face when you battle rap, right? So I think he used that to his advantage. Because he made it seem as if he was surprised that he was doing that. I know that you're not surprised that he was doing that. You're not surprised that he was doing it. Then I see, the full battle hasn't come out, right? But I seen this clip from Easy. And Easy did a whole segment basically destroying Cassidy's style of battle rap and how it's not the style of battle rap that's being used, and he doesn't want to change it. And I mean, he went in depth. The thing that got me was when he said, you always want to use like or as. Well, Cassidy is the metaphor simile king. You know what I'm saying? It's seriously. So that was like the B rabbit approach to me, because once I now destroy your style and say that it's outdated and all you know how to do is say like a ass, what you gonna respond to me with? The same style? Using like a ass? Yeah, no. So if what people say is true, that he started this fight to end the battle because he was about to lose, that would make sense. Because if you battle me by saying that the style that I'm about to use against you is outdated and how I don't want to change it, how can I respond to you? Yeah, the plot thickens. I don't know. Sad that it ended. I'm glad I didn't go. Keeping it on Philly. Let me tell y'all, somebody lying. People always out here talking about, oh yeah, we can't stand Meek and no Diddy, blah blah blah. Every single time Meek does a show in Philly, it sells out. Period. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. Shout out to Meek bringing out State Property though. That was love. All right. Yes. Bel-Air. Bel-Air has ended 8 seasons. Amazing, 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 amazing show filled with Black joy. Filled with Black joy. Okay? Filled with Black joy is the only way I can explain it. Just the way the family stuck together and the lessons learned and everybody's growth and the development of Will and Carlton's relationship, and just, how Uncle Phil stood 10 toes down on keeping his family together. Amazing show. But let me tell y'all, I dropped a tear. Hit me in my chest when Will Smith stood on that mountaintop with Jabari. Amazing, amazing TV moment. Well done. Really sad to see the show going, because we don't have a lot of positive, Black excellent shows out here. And that's going down as one of mine. Amazing, amazing show. Dr. Bryant, big Virgo energy on Club Shay Shay. Baby. Let me tell you, it's crazy, right? Because a lot of people are now paying attention to Dr. Bryant because she was on, Club Shay Shay, right? But I'm a fan of Dr. Bryant. In every platform she goes on, she speaks in the same manner. She has the same energy. But for some reason, it was received differently going on Shay Shay. So shout out to her. She talked about accountability. She talked about, people trying to change mates. She talked about healing. She even made Shannon see how much he was like his absent father. It was good. Please go and watch it. And to all these people, oh, she's not a doctor. Oh, she's not a doctor. Blah, 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 blah. Neither is Dr. Dre. That part. So, I saved this for last because I'm really irked by it. The coach, Sherone Moore, from Michigan State. I'm mad. Sherone Moore, whatever. No relation to me. But I'm really annoyed by this story, right? Because it's like people have been put in a hole for most of their life and have not literally watched the same situation play out 10, 15 times in their life. And the situation I'm talking about is Black men, dealing with a white woman, or, having a mistress, or whatever the case may be on the job. Why? Okay, so Mr. Moore, 39 years old, head coach of Michigan football, was fired because he was having an affair with a staffer. And the university has a zero tolerance policy for inappropriate affairs within the university. So he was fired immediately with cause, right? Now, mind you, he got like a 5-year, $10 million or $11 million contract. He's a Black head coach in Michigan. The story is that after that, he goes to the staffer's home, threatens to take his own life, and then threatens to take her life as well. Now, okay, that's allegedly what happened. He's arrested. They put his mugshot out. Now you think about that, right? Last week, he was $1 million head coach at Michigan. This week, his mugshot is on everywhere, and he's in jail. He has no job. And he's married, right? Life comes at you fast. But my issue is, bro, how is it that people believe that it happened to all those other people, but it's not going to happen to me? Is it that you believe that because you're the head coach, that you have some kind of power? I want to tell every Black man this, right? Your power is a facade. The moment you do something that is out of line, that power goes away. So your power is temporary. Your power has conditions. Conditions based on you doing what you are told, aka leaving the white women alone, aka following the rules of the university that say no inappropriate relationships. So what I want to say is, don't come to me about, oh, if it was a white person. I don't want to hear that. The playing field, no pun intended, is not the same. It never will be the same. It never has been the same. So why do we keep trying to play the same game and then get mad when the playing field is not the same? We're not playing on the same field. If their field is green, ours is white. Whatever color their field is, that is not the color of our field. So why do we do that? Nobody set him up. He didn't have to sleep with that staffer. He was aware of the rules. He thought he was going to get away with it. He thought because he's the head coach, he's going to keep his secret. No. And then allegedly, you want to take her life. Take your own life because you snapped over choices you made, choices you had control over. Did your blockers fumble the football or did you fumble the football? I mean, do we have a deep-rooted thing with accountability? Do we not like to be accountable because, back on the plantation, we got blamed for stuff we didn't do? Is that what it is? Because we don't want to take accountability for anything. Every time something happens, oh, well, white person would have did this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I brought this up about Sha'Carri Richardson, right? When Sha'Carri got suspended for failing a drug test, it was all these Black people. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, they ain't do that to Michael Phelps. Oh, she was going through something. Oh, we shouldn't be on the list. Blah, 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 blah. Sha'Carri was aware of the rules, and Sha'Carri broke the rules. Rules are in place for a reason, and if everybody else that is in the same sport as her has to follow the rules, she does too. If you're going through something and you're going to do something that might, be a hindrance, then you step away. You step away. Your mental health is not right. You step away. But what you don't do is do something that is deliberately not allowed and then say, oh, well, I only did it because nobody cares. And I want to say this to everybody who had an issue with her being held accountable. Have you since heard of Sha'Carri failing another drug test? Who's to say that if she had not been suspended and held accountable, that she wouldn't have kept failing drug tests? That she wouldn't eventually been out completely because she couldn't pass the drug test because she was allowed to get away with it. Nobody cares about your backstory when you do something that you know is wrong. You were going through something. Say, hey, I'm going through something. I can't run right now. You don't smoke weed knowing you're going to be drug tested, knowing that is a banned substance. So, Mr. Moore, you are aware that you are not permitted to deal with anyone in a university. You did it anyway. You're married, so you're having an affair. And now, when it blew all up in your face, you pointing fingers? Because the only person you can point fingers at is you. You took that gamble on your family and your career. How many times does this have to happen before we stop squandering opportunities? Complain about not letting us in the door, and then we get in the door, and what do? Don't think because they let you in the door means you one of them. They let you in the door because you're talented. And that's the number one reason that you're there. But when it comes down to it, baby, you will be out the door and out of a career and possibly out of a marriage. And now in a jail cell if you have not been released already. Enough is enough. Every time somebody black do something, it's always somebody like, what about Woody Allen? You ain't cared about Woody Allen since Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Knock it off. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't Woody Allen. See, I don't even know what Woody Allen was in. That was Rick Moranis. I can't even tell you what Woody Allen is in. But I can't tell you the amount of people when R. Kelly was going through his case. What about Woody Allen? Now you care about Woody Allen? Tell me, name 5 movies Woody Allen played in. I'll wait. But you can name 20 R. Kelly songs, though. And that's the point. We can't keep doing things wrong and then thinking that we're going to be punished in the same way as other races. It's never been the case, and it will never be the case. So stop getting cases. All right. Okay. Now, on to my topic. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Wake up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kind of odd. You ever had one of those days where you just woke up and you just said, today gonna be a good day. Today gonna be a good day, right? And then it don't turn out to be a good day. We're gonna start with that part. And it don't turn out to be a good day. Now, what I take from the song, though, is that, you know, every day wasn't a good day, but that day was a good day, right? So let me start here, right? So I have a thing now where I'm very intentional about when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I will say, I'm good today, right? And, you know, shout out to Larry from GNT, said that to him one day, and he's like, today, he said, I pay attention to words. You said today, are you not good overall? I said, you know, I'm good most days, I have some things or whatever. I said, but I'm very intentional about answering in real time. And he's like, okay, well, I just was checking, and that was a big thing because, it meant somebody cares and somebody's paying attention, right? Then one of my girlfriends said one day, like, just today. I'm like, no, not just today, but yeah, today I'm good, right? And the reason why I answer that way is because when you are viewed as the strong person or the person that has everything together, or the peaceful one or the one that practices self-care, right? People tend to think that you are always good no matter what, right? But I have my days. And I have quite a few days, right? Usually not always full days because I can always figure out some kind of way to turn it around. But I have my days, right? And when I'm in the season, like I've been kind of off and on all this year, if you ask me on Monday, I might not be good. But if you're asking me on Thursday, today, yes, I'm good today. The day before, I might not have been, right? And I started doing that because it lets people know that just because because when you say you're good, people are like, well, you said you was good. You know what I mean? But I say I'm good today, that means, hey, some days ain't all peaches and cream over here. You know what I mean? I talked about this before. A woman of a certain age going through all kind of stuff, right? But I want to talk about a very specific reason why I haven't had the best of days this year, right? So not too far into the new year, right? I had a really bad, and I talked about this earlier in the year, but now that I'm on a different platform and more people are watching, it lends to this, right? I had a really bad acid reflux attack. I have acid reflux really bad. That's why my voice is different. That's why some days I'm like, oh, the show's gonna be on Thursday because my voice is for lack of better words, yeah. Sometimes my voice is having a good day, sometimes my voice is not. Ha ha, there we go. So anyway, I had a really bad acid reflux attack. And if you've ever had one, like it happens in your sleep, right? Because I fell asleep on my back, which I'm not supposed to. If I eat too many things like salsa, spaghetti sauce, all the good stuff, all the red sauce, all that kind of stuff. It will affect me and I'll have an attack. An attack is usually, a buildup. Like it usually doesn't happen from just eating one bad thing. Is when you eat a series of bad things, right? Or sometimes like I can't have salsa and red wine. Like, it's like your body is just like, yo, it's like a volcano, like it's erupting and then it just all erupts. Pause. So I had a really bad acid reflux attack, and I've had a lot of them, but this is by far the worst one I've ever had, to the point I literally said, Lord, forgive me for my sins. And it came down to, I believe, my last breath. Like I could not catch my breath, right? And when I came to, it wasn't my time. God was like, no, it's not your time. You're not finished yet, right? But my first thought was that if something had happened to me, nobody would have known for 24 hours. And when I looked over, there was nobody there. So, I almost left here. I'm alone. And if I had not made it, nobody would have known probably for about 24 hours, right? Any longer than that, somebody would have came looking for me. But 24 hours, because I always answer texts, and I'm not one of them people like, oh, well, maybe she just not answering. No, even though my phone is on Do Not Disturb, I can still see who's texting and calling, and I will respond. So that was really rough, right? And it was just like I could not shake the experience. And for those who listen to the show, I have a lot of things that I have PTSD from. But we're specifically talking about this. So this is now another form of PTSD. Now I'm like watching what I eat. And then, I went on this journey of, all these tests I took this year, trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm doing all these things alone, back and forth, spending money on co-pays, Uber there, back and forth, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. And it's just been a lot. it's just been a lot this year. We're trying to, figure that out. You know what I mean? And still really never got to the bottom of it. And then, I start having these voice issues and I go to the ENT and she says, it's my acid reflux. The acid is destroying my voice box and, causing this raspiness in my voice. And as y'all can see, I do a podcast, so I use my voice a lot. I got a job where I got to talk and, my voice is everything to me. So I've been having to deal with that, right? But, that day has shaped almost every day since then. I do my best to be intentional about having a good day. And if I wake up not feeling good, then I figure out a way to have a good day. One day in particular, I wasn't feeling that great. I woke up, I went and got a massage, I went and had breakfast, I went to the nunnery, and then I went to the orchestra Noor. Talked about this before, right? That was because I wasn't having a good day. I couldn't sleep that well the night before because it's like ever since then, unless I am sleeping next to somebody or, at somebody else's house or people are around, it's really hard for me to get to sleep because I keep worrying about going back to that night where I had the acid reflux attack and, almost wasn't here and woke up alone, right? So I'm not really afraid to go to sleep if somebody's there because at least I won't wake up alone. At least if I start choking, there's somebody to help me. You know what I mean? So that's really rough when majority of the time, you are alone. You know what I mean? And so, I've been really struggling as far as going to sleep. And I think I said before, or if you read my book, Fresh Cappuccino Sugar, I struggled with insomnia for 20 years. And it wasn't because of acid reflux. It was mental. Like I'd be going to sleep thinking about my problems, this person's problem, who's saying this, who's saying what people feel, what people think, right? And those things aren't invading my mind anymore. Now I can't sleep because, and I realize this, like I can't sleep because I got a PTSD about being afraid to go to sleep or not sleeping for too long or waking up just to make sure that when I wake up, in case I have an acid reflux attack, I can get ahead of it. Because the thing about acid reflux attack, you can be out of here, right? If you don't wake up out your sleep and you choke on your acid, that's it. So I live with that, right? And that's why, this year I was celebrating my birthday hard, more for 44. And, I went on a cruise and I went to see The Last Dragon. And, I'm just really intentional about doing all these things. You know what I mean? I brought the podcast back and, I did a couple of live shows and I started to turn your pod up. This is why I'm doing all these things. I'm adding to my legacy, right? Because that moment let me know I wasn't finished yet. I'm not finished yet. God's not done with me yet. I have a lot more to do. So that's what I'm doing, right? Last week's episode, I talked about bag lady and not carrying a lot of stuff. I can't. I'm going off 3 to 4 hours of sleep because of something that happened in January where I felt like I wasn't going to be here anymore. But at the same time, every single day, I'm trying to be intentional to have a good day. Some days I have a good day, sometimes I don't. Then I have a situation where, somebody near and dear to me, young lady that I've known since she came into this world, 6 months old, younger than my daughter, passes away suddenly from an asthma attack. This is in the midst of grief. This is in the midst of, just the other day was, during that time was sad about my nephew's birthday and him not here to celebrate his birthday, my grandpa's death anniversary, just seasonal, just seasonal things, seasonal depression, holiday blues, grief, all these things, right? And all in all, I'm preparing for a show. I'm going to work every day. I threw my cousin a party. I'm doing all these things, right? While walking around with this PTSD that's not allowing me to really sleep good at night, right? But at the same time, I want to make sure that I keep adding on to my legacy. That is a lot. That is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody asks me, are you good? Yeah, today. I'm good today. Like Ice Cube. Today was a good day. today was a good day, right? And I'm very intentional about that. And, I had a conversation with my girlfriend the other day. She sends this reel about, what you say in the morning before you even leave the house, manifesting is real. And the lady was saying to say, good things keep happening to me. Like, just say that all day long and good things will keep happening to you, right? Now, that doesn't have to be the phrase that you use. That was hers, right? But you should say something. You should say something before you step out into this world and deal with this world, right? You should be intentional about having a good day. You should say, today's going to be a good day. But think about Ice Cube when he said, today seems kind of odd. To me, that's letting you know that it's not always a good day. It was not always a good day. That's why he said, today was a good day. Meaning yesterday, what I gathered from the song, yesterday wasn't a good day. And I don't know if tomorrow going to be a good day, but today was a good day. And he names all the reasons why today was a good day. You know what I mean? Nobody got shot and, all these things that normally happen didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's my life right now. Today was a good day. Every single day is not a good day. Every single day is not a bad day, but every single day is not a good day. So when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I say, on Monday, I say, I'm okay. I'm okay today. Somebody may ask me on Friday, and I say, I'm good today. I'm great today. You know what I mean? Because I am intentional with my response because it's important to me. Because I know I've been going through, trying to get over that traumatic experience. A lot of people don't know about it. They probably, unless they heard on the episode earlier in this year. That's what's been going on. It's affected me positively. And it's affected me negatively. It's affected me mentally. It's affected me, financially because I continue to do things, you know what I mean, that are adding to my legacy that also add to my pockets. I'm putting myself in position to have great moments, great experiences. If I feel like it's something I want to do and it's within my means to do, I'm going to do it. It's the reason why a lot of times I'm going places by myself because I might not have woke up feeling that good. And now I want to fix my own mood. And sometimes you can't do that around people who have an expectation for you to already be in a good mood. I'm not always in a good mood. I am in a good mood more times than I'm not, though. My energy is good more times than it's not, but it hasn't been 100% like I would like it to be. So when people say, oh, I like your energy, or you got good energy, I'm like, oh, okay. That means I'm doing a good job. But there's plenty of times I've had to do a show. There's plenty of times I've had an event, and I've literally had to take a full 24 hours to get my energy together, baby. Because if my energy is on decline, a lot of times I'm going to decline an invitation to anything because today is not a good day. But when today is a good day, baby, my energy is through the roof. I got all the advice in the world. I got all the positivity in the world. I got all the joy and, the glow is always there. Sometimes it can be a little dim. You know what I'm saying? But it's dim because of what I might not have got sleep the night before. The main thing that's bothering me right now is that lack of sleep. Now, the last 2 days I have, started to get sleep. But that's the thing that's been bothering me the most is the lack of sleep. And then I got brain fog, and then I got all these things. Those things don't mix. Even with the brain fog, I'm now being more intentional about taking my time and doing things when I remember, you know what I mean? Or doing things the night before so I don't forget anything. That is helping me, right? I still forget when I was supposed to look up something. I still forget what I want to say, mid-sentence, but baby steps. So like I said, in the song, I bet people never thought about that. Why did today seem kind of odd? Why is it odd to have a good day? Think about that. Today seems kind of odd, and then proceeds to say all the good things that happened in that day, and today was a good day. Because all those things that happened most of the time don't happen. And then he also put himself in position to be in moments like the dice game or playing basketball, you know what I mean, to be intentional about having a good day. That is how we have to move. You have to put yourself in position to have a good day, right? And it should not be odd to have a good day. That means you're not having a lot of good days if today being a good day is odd, right? Again, I've had way more good days this year than not good days, and I haven't had a lot of full bad days, but I've had more not good days than I would like to. So my plan from here on out is to continue to get past this experience, and thank God, like he said, wake up in the morning, gotta thank God. I'm waking up in the morning and thank God that I'm still here. I'm still here to continue my legacy. I'm still here to be an impact on people. I'm still here to celebrate people. You know what I mean? I'm still here for myself. I still got breath in my body. I still got creativity. I still got my arms, my legs. Well, no, regardless of any health issues, I still have all of that. So I wake up in the morning and try to and thank God. But I don't want to. But if I say today seems kind of odd, I don't want it to be because it's a good day. I want to wake up knowing I'm going to have a good day. Like when I say it's going to be odd, I want like something like that don't usually happen to happen. Like, dang, that's odd that happened, but not nothing bad. And I don't want to be surprised at having a good day. I want a good day to be normal. I want a good day to be like, oh, it's Tuesday. It's a good day. I don't want it to be like, oh, 4 of these days was bad, so hopefully tomorrow's a good day. However, that can be a reality, but that is not my intention, and that is not how I am moving. I am moving in the direction of intentionally assuring to have a good day, and I do that by removing expectations and literally going with the flow and waking up every day saying today's going to be a good day. I am enough. Good things keep happening to me. Whatever I have to say to assure that I have a good day. But I don't want a good day to be odd. I want a good day to be normal, reoccurring. That's what I want a good day to be. But again, I am intentional in my responses when asked, how are you? I'm good today. Because as of right now, that's how I got to move. Maybe at some point, it will never be a day that I'm not good. But just know, it's not my intention for my day to never not be good. I'm very intentional about putting myself in position for it to be good in whatever way that looks like. Refer back to all the episodes before this one. All lead up to this. I had a traumatic experience in January that started off my 2025. I've been, ever since then, adding to my legacy, trying to have great moments, but at the same time, dealing with insomnia, dealing with, just the thought of dying alone. Because that could honestly be my reality. And then in the midst of this, I had to go to a funeral, of a young lady I love dearly, passing away suddenly at 25. Your time, when is your time, is your time. We do not know when is our time. We do not know how. All I know is in that moment, I thought it was my time, and it was not. And I am just grateful to still be here. So this day, today, Thursday, December 11th, is a good day because I'm here. And I'm going to try to continue to carry that thought process out from here on out. Now, something happened, right? I'm just going to share this and then I'm going to end here, right? This is how you know when you've gotten to the point where you're not letting anything steal your joy or make you not have a good day, right? Because what I'm about to say would have made me have a bad day in the past, right? So talking to, my sibling and like, oh, did you see my father's post on Facebook? I said, nah, I'm not friends with him on Facebook. So I said, well, what does the post say? It's like, oh, you deleted them? Yeah. What does the post say? So the post basically said that a friend of his passed away and that he hadn't spoken to him in years. So today he's checking on his family and friends, right? Comment fine, so I know you're okay. I'm his daughter, but apparently I must not be family because I ain't getting no text. I ain't getting no check-in. I didn't get any of that, right? So normally that would hurt me. It did not hurt me. It did not hurt me. I said, I must have really checked out on this. Or I'm so focused and intentional about having a good day that it bounced right off of me. And listen, I'm good. One day, maybe there will be a reconnection, but it won't be me doing the reconnecting. I made peace with it. And everybody always says, oh, what if something happens to you, Dad? What if something happens to me? Because as y'all heard in this episode, I almost wasn't here. So what if something had happened to me in January? How would he feel? Would he be putting up a post saying, oh, my daughter passed away and I wasn't speaking to her for the last couple of years, so I'm checking in to see how everybody doing? See how that sounds? Just saying. Nah. I'm good, y'all. I promise you. I'm good. I'm good. The thing about it is, when I'm not having a good day, it's not for nothing old. It's not for nothing in the past. It's all current. It's all what I just talked about. You know what I'm saying? It all goes back to that. Not being able to sleep is horrible when you got to work and, people are counting on you to do things and your concentration is off and you're falling asleep and, all these things. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. I'm good. Today is a good day. And I'm going to be intentional moving forward about every day being a good day because I'm going to start off, wake up in the morning thanking God and not saying it's odd that today is a good day. It's going to be like, yeah, today going to be a good day like the last 5 days been. That is my goal. That is my goal. Even if I have a bad moment, that's fine. I'm going to figure out a way to turn it around. Everything that I say, self-care is bad. I practice self-care every single day. Some form of self-care every single day. That is how I'm going to get through everything. And to have people around me who will listen. Have people around me who, check in or, oh, when's your podcast? Everything. All of it matters. All of it matters, y'all. All of it matters. Being creative matters. I could probably have a good day almost every day because every day I do something creative. That will turn my day around in a heartbeat to do something creative because that is my passion and that is what I love. So be intentional about having a good day. And to whatever God you believe in, wake up every morning and thank God that you're still here. And if you're still here, be grateful for the life that you still have. Because some people are no longer with us. R.I.P. Daisha. That is the young lady that passed away suddenly. The funeral I had to attend. That was not a good day. All right. I thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back next Thursday with episode 25. That will be the season finale. I'll be back in January. Follow me on Instagram, JUSTTYABRANDLLC. Follow Author Tees, AUTHORTEES. I guarantee one of the quotes authored by me will speak to you. Have an amazing, amazing week and weekend. And I'll be back next Thursday. Peace.